Are you overwhelmed with tons of information that you have to store into your brain? Are you overwhelmed that emails, lot of study, journaling, researching, and even the medical research? And you puzzle that how I can read all the information, how I can record all the information, how I can retain whenever is required, then you are in the right place. And today I'm gonna teach you exactly the process in my the sessions of series that hope you have watched my all the previous video. If you haven't watched, then watch it. This session is all about the speed reading, how you can read as fast as possible, not hard reading. It's about the smart reading. Clear? And many times you buy a book and you keep this book in your bookshelf, you never ever finish. But this is over right now. I'm going to teach you the method. And today, in this 21st century, if knowledge is power, then reading is superpower. Those people are readers. They'll read a lot, like Elon Musk, like Bill Gates, like Oprah Winfrey, like Tony Robbins. They read a lot, and they many times they suggested in their videos in this interview that you have to read a lot if you want to become a leader, because leaders are reader. Clear? And today in this session, in this video, I'm going to teach you the four simple method that is stands for fast. You have to move forward as a first reader. F.A.S.T. And this is all about the first method. And I'm going to teach you exactly step by step. So watch video till the end so that you can get the knowledge that how you can read fast to remember anything fast. And fast. Why fast method is important in nowadays? As you know, that if you want to learn anything quicker first or very easy way, then you have to read a book, you have to study a lot. Now think about the writer, those who have written this book, they put their years and years of thoughts in up 200 or 300 pages. So you can get not only 200 or 300 pages information, actually you are getting the 10 or 15 years of experience, the decade of information that you are getting, that is written by the author. And you can, let's say you want to learn finance, let's say you want to learn in automation, let's say you want to learn in AI, let's say you want to learn in tech. You read a lot, right? You study a lot. And that's why reading is very important. And from your childhood, we learned, we taught the boarding method, because nobody ever taught us how to read properly, how to study properly. What's the process? What's the structure? And that I'm going to teach you in this video. Remember, there is no bad reader, there is no poor reader. There's only trained reader and untrained reader. Trained. If you're a trained reader, if you know exactly what is the structure that you have to follow, what is the method that you have to follow, then you can read anything is fast. First, right? That's what I'm going to teach you the first method. Because by learning this first method, you're not going to increasing your reading skill. You're also developing your sharpening your memory. You're also developing your brain power. And that is more important to improving your brain power. That's why you have to read a lot. And that is the first method all about. So let's learn what is the first method. In this first, F stands for forget. F stands for forget. Now you already know that you are thinking that, yeah, I forget very often. So why you are going to teach this forgetting again, right? Now here you have to forget the wrong habit. In the first method I'm going to teach you, F stands for forget. You have to forget the wrong habit that you have kept stored in your mind for so many years. So let's give you a simple example. If you know the wrong method to play a cricket, or if you know the wrong method to play a football, is it possible you become a sharp player? Is it not possible? So first you have to unlearn what is the method that you already know. What is the method that I already taught? The method that already you applied, and you feel boredom in study, in reading. Now, today you have to create a new habits. What the new habits that you have to actually that you have to create? Then I'm gonna teach you. And you have to forget the situational destruction. I know that as a busy professional, right? You have a lot of work that you have to do daily basis in your office, right? In your project, in your with your team. And when you return back at your home, there is many the family calamities that you might be facing, right? So when you're going to read a book, when you're going to finish a book, first you have to understand that if I want to read a complete a book, if I want to finish a book, so you have to forget all the situational destruction from your office, from your colleague, from your project, from your family. So when you start going to start reading a book, you have to just think only about this book. This is the first training your brain. So you cut all the distraction from other things. Though you can start focusing in one particular thing, then reading a book. And that in the first forward method, that is the forget your limitation. Forget your limitation. What is the forget your limitation? That is that all about that. Maybe you think that okay, I tried many way. I tried the many different thing, but still I many books. I kept it in my bookshelf, but even I couldn't finish a particular one book. Maybe in a year. Why? Have you asked these questions to yourself? Because your limitation of belief. It doesn't mean that you couldn't complete the books in prior before years. It doesn't mean that you cannot complete the books in upcoming years. The difference, you don't know the process. Now you know the process that I'm going to teach you. So give the auto suggestions to your brain. This is also possible. If Elon Musk they can read a 500 pages in one day, why not about you? And in one interview, Elon Musk says that when journalist asked me the question that what is the key strategy that I've applied in my business that I become so much successful in my life, I become a multi-billionaire because I read a lot. And I read a lot for myself. That's why I become a billionaire. And this is also possible because they study a lot, different strategy, different technique, different tools, different learning, and they're applying in the business. That's why they're getting the result. In the similar way, but you never try because you never give your 100% focus in particular things because you have the limiting belief. You have to break down this limiting belief. Then I'm going to give you a simple example how to break down a limiting belief and what is actually is all about. Maybe have you heard the story about the elephant, the baby elephant? When the elephant's a baby, that's very small. So the master of the elephant, they tied a simple rope, or it's not a simple rope, they tied with a rope in particular place, and that baby elephant very aggressive tried to just escape from this rope, but they couldn't. Now, when the baby elephant growing slowly and gradually become a very strongest right? They can easily pluck the rope and then escape in a second, but that time they couldn't. Do you know why? Because of their limiting belief. Because in their childhood, they have tried many times to pluck this rope. They could not that time. That's the thing that this is also not possible. In the similar way, it doesn't mean that you haven't finished the book before. It doesn't mean that you cannot read the book in upcoming days. This is possible if you know my strategy, if you just practice with the strategy, if you just practice the drill that I'm going to give you in every day. Clear? And that is you have to break down your limiting belief. All behavior is belief driven. If you believe you can or you can't, that is true. All behavior is belief driven. If you believe that this is not possible for me, absolutely right. Because Almighty Universe said Tathastu. If you say this is possible for me, Almighty Universe said yes, this is Tathastu. So you have to remove your limiting belief. Clear? And then in FAST, A stands for active. Reading is not passive, it's an active skill. Do you know why I'm saying this thing? I know many people, when they starts reading, they do multitasking. That is the biggest problem they're facing. Because they are not focusing active way. They think that okay, I'm reading, I'm watching, I'm reading, I'm watching, I'm talking, I'm seeing the social media. This is not possible. This is not possible that you can finish maybe in a single page a day, because your focus is distracted in multiple areas. That's why you couldn't finish a simple page and forget about this finishing a 200 page or 300 page in a week. When your focus in multiple direction goes, that's why you couldn't finish it. Then what you have to do? The process is very simple. Whenever you go into start or reading a book, first start with a small habits. Give to information instruction to your brain and to your mind that I am going to read 10 minutes or 15 minutes in particular time, maybe in morning, maybe in afternoon, or maybe in the evening, or maybe at before going to bed. But I will read for at least for upcoming 7 days without any miss. This is the first promise that you have to do. Start with very small steps. Start with baby steps. And do you know why babies are starting walking? Because they crawl down. They take the small step, and slowly and gradually, where they're comfortable with the small step, then you have to take a bigger step. So first make comfortable that I'm gonna read 10 minutes a day without any missing. Then make it 20, then make it 30, then make it 40. And in this way, your habit will build. First, you have to build your habit, then your habit will build you. That's the process. Because reading is a mental fitness, build sharpness and clarity. When you read, you not only gather the information, you actually sharpen your mind. You actually sharpen your brain. You actually gather the knowledge. Because when you can, it's the simple process. When you store data into your brain, it's an inputting process. Then you can give output from your mouth. That is a simple process. Clear? Great. Treat reading like an important appointment. Think about if today is an appointment with your VP, with your vice president, or maybe you have an interview meeting as an example, you will miss it. No, huh? In a similar way, give an interview time for your reading. Say, from today, I'm giving an example. Let's say from today, every 9 a.m. in the morning, I'll read 15 minutes for upcoming 15 days. Or maybe at night at 10 p.m., I'm going to read 10 minutes a day. But upcoming 10 days, I'll become a consistent person. Treat reading time like an importance. It's important appointment. Because reading makes time and not takes time. Reading makes time. When you read to become a lead, to lead others. Because readers are leaders. Clear? Great. So what we'll do with this extra time, let's say whatever you're doing right now today itself, whatever the time you are giving for your reading, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, or maybe you couldn't finish a particular book in a year. But think about if today itself, if you start reading and you can save the extra time from your distraction, from your other things, and you can finish the books, think about what the extra time that you are getting and storing in your day-to-day life, what you will do with this extra time. Because time's once gone, that's never come back in your life. Times is very crucial. Times is very important in your life. Am I right? Good. Then, so F stands for forget, A stands for active, A stands for the state. All learning is state dependent. All learning is state dependent. What is your present state? Your present state is focus. Your present state is concentrated. Your present state is dedicated. Your present state is motivated. Because reading is a game. Those people that see the reading as a game, they're really the master in their life. Really, they're the master. But what most people do right now, nowadays, The most of the time, they're wasting their time in social media. Most people feel bored or confused in reading because they never ever make this reading as a game, funny game. It's the game, that motivation that you have to create. How? You have to change your emotional state. You have to change your emotional state while reading. Put your 100% with reading, in reading. Whenever is going to read, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, put your all the positive emotion, put your all the positive vibration. Because when you read the number of books in particular area, let's say in communication, let's say in finance, let's say in learning, let's say in tech, let's say in management, and think about when you store this information in your brain and you share the knowledge with others, how people see you as, they see you as a loser or they see you as a leader. That's why this reading is important. So make reading as a funny tools, a funny mechanism. Reading is not boring. Why people makes us bored? Do you know why when the most of the people they read, when they're going to bed, when they're tired, they're starting reading. Because they created in this concept that reading is a boring thing. So when I read, I'll sleep. No. How Bill Gates read, how Elon Musk read, how Tony Robbins read, how all the best CEOs they read, how Oprah Winfrey they read. They see reading as a mental feeding. They see reading as a happiness thing. Same thing that you have to create. Then this is also possible with you. Clear? So this you have to change your state. Now in FAST, F stands for forget, A stands for active, A stands for state, and T stands for teach. Best way to learn, teach it. Think about when you're going to learn the speed reading in this journey, make your reading friend. If there's if it's not possible, teach any of your members, teach your kids, teach your family members. Become the accountable partner in reading. Make accountable partner. So when you read, when you teach, then you store information into your brain properly. Clear? Because learn with the intention to teach. You will ask when you read, when you teach, people will ask the question. Then we can solve the question. How to read, what to read, how to fast, how to slow. Actually, you are putting your all the information to sharing your knowledge with others. That's why this reading makes funny for you. Find a learning buddy. Find a reading buddy for you. Teach him. Whatever the method you're learning from me, teach him. Then you can retain the information in your brain for so long. And that's the simple process. That's the simple process. Clear? So in the first that we have learned so far, F stands for forget. Forget your bad habits, forget your distraction, forget your limitation. A stands for active. Be consistent. Reading makes time, not reading takes time. A stands for state. Control your emotion. Create your positive emotions when you're going to start reading. And T stands for teach. Teach others when you're going to uh, learning these methods. Clear? Fall in love with this reading. Because when you read a lot, you lead a lot. When you lead a lot, you become a leader. When you become a leader, you earn a lot. The simple process. And what is the root cause? You have to read. Why you don't have to read it? Because you feel boredom before. I'm teaching you the method. Teach it, learn it, and apply it in your life. Clear? Hope this the first method you have learned, we are going to apply from today itself. Apply from today itself. Start 10 to 15 minutes ready from today and apply this first method to see the first forward in your life. Thank you. Looking forward to meet you in the next video. Thank you so much.